Kevin Allen Curtis notices that most of my must-dos for my upcoming June trip to Disney World include alcohol. Is an intervention in my future? We'll answer this question and so much more as we go Geekin on Walt Disney World. Welcome to episode 69 of the Geekin on Walt Disney World podcast. I am your co-host, Curtis Stone, and we are the family-friendly, usually we're the father-daughter podcast that will feed your passion for Walt Disney World by sharing our experiences and opinions, as well as others from our community of passionate Walt Disney World geeks. And I say usually it's father-daughter because Lindsay is out working again tonight from noon to midnight down at the Superheroes Downtown Disney store. But fear not, I have one of my super geeker guest hosts, Brian Wall, is here from TravelTimeWithMickey.com. How you doing, Brian?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed you didn't introduce me as the smartest, cutest, geekiest substitute co-host, but it's all right.
That works for me.
I'll take it.
It's hard, be careful though what you ask for, Brian, because it's hard to
fill those shoes.
Fill those shoes. She is the smartest. Oh, we were just talking. Oh, before I do that, we were talking before we got recording, but I want to bring in our special guest, and it's Bob Sikon from allinwdw.com. How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Kurt. How are you tonight?
We're doing great. And where are you from, Bob?
I'm actually in Atlanta, Georgia.
Excellent. So we've got the South covered. We got the Northeast, and you're kind of upper Midwest, Brian.
Yeah, I got the Midwest covered for you.
Excellent. We got a little triangle going.
Yeah.
But you were talking about the sweetest daughter in the world. We were talking a little bit earlier. She sent me some more Disney World swag. Well, she hasn't sent it to me. She bought me some more. I'll be picking it up when I'm down there in June. And I told her I was really into that smokehouse over at the American Pavilion during the Flower and Garden Festival. And she had bought me, I'm trying to remember, she got me one of the T-shirts. And she got me the bottle opener. I collect those magnet bottle openers. And she had already bought me those, but she was there just recently on one of her days off. And the Flower and Garden Festival is winding down. And I think the little shopper bell went in her head before she got out of there and went over and noticed things were 50% off.
She's so thoughtful.
I know. She's very thoughtful. She is the sweetest daughter in the world. And she picked me up another T-shirt. Well, it was a Mickey pushing tractor, lawn garden kind of thing. And I think the beer glass, which the pint glass is another thing that I collect. And what else did she get me? Oh, the hat.
You got to get some of those you got to take a picture of all of your coffee mugs, your beer glasses,
yes,
those bottle openers, and get them on the Facebook, the fan page.
I am. I started doing that, so I put some of those things out there that she sent me pictures of. And yes, I'm going to do like my favorite coffee mug picture. I'm trying to actually, you know what I'm going to do, Brian? I'm trying to do like a post every day on that private Facebook page, especially leading up to my trip coming up here in June.
We've been having a ton of fun on that Facebook page. People talking about when they're going down and posting pictures and trips. And I've been having a lot of good conversations with my buddy Judy and everybody in Glen down there. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man.
I know. I love it. I love the engagement. Everyone's chipping in, and I can ask you guys questions. And so what we're going to talk about tonight, Bob has an awesome website, and he does a lot of polls and surveys, I'll call them. And so we're going to get into some of his reader polls and some of the favorites list that he has, which is awesome. He'll explain what that is all about. And then because I'll be going down there real soon, I'm going to do a little pre-trip report. And I think Bob was just telling me he goes down there quite a bit. I want to see what he's got plans for coming up. So I think we got tons of content to get into. Before I do that, I just want to mention a couple things. I just saw, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. Did you ever do is it called Art of Animation? That's, I know the resort name, but you know, in Hollywood studios, you can go and you can draw a character.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, Bob?
The magic of Disney, or the magic of Disney animation.
That's right. I love that thing.
Yeah.
I always like to do that. It's kind of hidden. I don't know if people even know it's over there. It's kind of near the Ariel, the Play Disney house area. It's in that, right?
Yeah. Did you know? Well, I just saw this on a vlog, and maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but I was under the impression that you can go and you can talk to one of the animators and request to have something drawn for you, and they'll draw it and they'll have it on this nice. It's not framed, but they'll I don't know if it's like a harder cardboard background, but then they'll send it to you at your resort.
Oh, nice.
They'll draw any character that you want,
and
it's cool. I'm almost positive it's free.
Well, so what's so fun about that thing is I'm a horrible drawer, artist, absolutely horrible, which is kind of funny because my oldest son, I'm so excited. He's graduating from Massachusetts College of Art and Design. And he's graduating on the 22nd of May. We're going up to Boston for his graduation. 6 years of paying the bills. And
wow.
he's got a job waiting for him, and that's so exciting. And he's a pretty good artist. He didn't get it from his dad, I can tell you that. The cool thing about that is that you can really draw a character and actually have it look like what you're supposed to be instead of like a stick figure or something, which I normally do. But on the DisneyParks.com main site, and I'll put a link to this out in the show notes, they have videos showing you how to draw tons of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so you can do it at home.
Yeah.
That's a little fun thing to do with your kids.
Yeah, we actually, when we were at the Art of Animation last October, they had an artist sitting there in the lobby, and my son's only 6, and they had him drawing Chip from Chippendale.
Oh,
I mean, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think that just goes to show how talented those artists are, though. You know, to be able to show people like a 6-year-old and a 45-year-old podcast host how to draw.
Exactly. I like to highlight our community. Brian was talking about our Facebook page, but I'd love to get emails too. And I've got an email. I mentioned Drew Baker earlier in one of the podcasts. And I just wanted to mention, we were chatting back and forth, but this is kind of small, but I don't know, it kind of caught me. He said, I was talking about the special Moms Day. We did a little round table with the moms from the show. And he mentioned, because I mentioned him during that, and he said, I actually already listened to it on my run this morning. Wasn't expecting that because I mentioned his name. And thanks for the shout out. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Poly Villas, because I'm staying at the DVC New Polynesian ones. And he says, I'm predicting an add-on with a smiley face. Yeah, I'm really seriously thinking about that. They could really talk me in, especially when I'm staying down there. But I really like how he said, I already listened to it on my run this morning. So, Drew, thanks for taking me on your run. Very flattered, because we know everyone is busy, and it's cool that you would listen to us on your run. Are you a runner, Brian, too?
I used to be. I'm trying to get back into it.
Yeah. I know another Kevin. I mentioned Kevin Allen Curtis. He's our UK buddy that we interviewed recently. He just did a big run over there in the UK. He's looking really fit. Nice job, our buddy Kevin.
Well, he buys all those shoes when he's in Orlando. So that's what he uses them for.
I forget what he called them. The UK name, the British name.
Yeah, I couldn't remember either.
Sneakers. All
Tennies,
right.
Something.
Yes. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go over here. I was asking everyone I'm always asking for iTunes reviews, and I'm really excited. We got a couple. Here's one and the title is #1 Disney Fan Podcast, 5 stars. We love this podcast with 3 exclamation points. Not only are they funny, they're informative and family oriented. Such a joy to listen to. I'm glad they say we're funny. That is cool. And then the other one is, as a self-professed Disney geek, I love this show. That's the title. Kurt and Lindsay are a father-daughter duo that talk about Disney World and the resorts nearby. They are very entertaining and informative. They are very positive, and I would hope to have the same relationship with my kids when they are old enough to podcast. Hopefully Star Wars Land will be running by then. They also have other Disney geeks on the show, like Brian and Bob. If you are planning a trip to Disney or just suffering from withdrawals, this show will help you. Their reviews of restaurants and food are what hooked me in. Yeah, we love food. There's no doubt. We're going to get into that, right, Bob? We got some favorites that I'm looking for. That'll be definitely on tonight's show. I can't wait for our next trip to Epcot to start my day with a margarita. Yes, we talk about margaritas all the time. It's kind of our thing. If you love Disney vacations or are curious and need tips or want to plan a trip, you should subscribe to this show. Thank you so much. That's from, some of these names are weird to say, like when they put them in iTunes. I wish I had their real names. Hyendac. ADC. I don't know. And then Love to Teach ABC was the other one. So thank you guys so much. That helps us to get the word out about our podcast. And I appreciate it. And Lindsay appreciate it so much. Okay. Now I think, guys, that was all I had for intros. And what I want to do is get into Bob's readers' favorites. Bob, how long have you been doing the blog?
It's been about 3 years,
okay.
Actually. I think I started, it would have been somewhere around Food and Wine Festival 2012. In fact, that was my very first post was a love affair with food and wine. It's one of our favorite things, that festival, and just happened to have one weekend. I had actually blogged in the past for some sports related things, and I had given it up when we relocated to Atlanta, and I had one weekend after Food and Wine where I was, I guess I'll say a little bit bored, and I just decided, okay, well, let's start up a blog. Yep. And it's kind of grown from there.
Excellent. And who's your family makeup?
My wife and I are empty nesters. We live in Atlanta now, and we have one son. He's actually a third-year medical student in northeastern Ohio.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know the empty nest feeling now that Lindsay she goes to school here at University of Hartford normally, but and lives at home, but she's in Disney World, like we said, right now. Okay. And what's your history with Disney World, Bob? How long have you been going down there?
So our first trip down to Walt Disney World was in 1999. It was the Millennium Celebration over Thanksgiving, and we laugh about this to this day. But for some reason, I had it in my mind I wanted to go to Walt Disney World, and our son was in second grade at the time, and I joke with my wife that I dragged them kicking and screaming to Orlando because they just had no interest in going whatsoever.
Really?
And,
wow.
It just wasn't, what just wasn't anything we had done. It was really our first big vacation as a family. Yeah. We stayed at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, which back in that day was reasonably new, and fell in love with the place, fell in love with the cast members, and came away very impressed with the way Disney treats their guests, and it was a few years before we were able to get back. Yep. But went back 5 times between 1999 and when our son graduated high school, and it was about at that time we reload to Atlanta, and my wife and I have gone back, countless times since.
How often do you go now, as a rule, Bob?
Generally, I'd say once every 3-4 weeks or so. Atlanta's only about 6 hours away, so it's a quick drive down. And we don't often go for really long vacations. We'll go for, an odd weekend here or there, save my vacation up so that I can take maybe a Friday and a Monday off. Yeah. And we'll just shoot down for a bit. And then make our way back. It's where I call them my research trips.
Gotta keep the blog going.
Yeah, that's right.
I like that. And are you kind of picking things that are going on down there? You're looking on a weekend and saying, "Oh wow, look at this particular thing is going on. I'd like to go check that out."
I got to be honest with you, Kurt. It's almost I don't want to call it random, but sometimes it is. We go down. We don't really make a lot of plans in advance. We kind of have a general idea of the types of things. Like for instance, we did quite a bit of visiting to Epcot during the Flower and Garden Festival, or as I like to call it, Food and Garden Festival. So next time we go down, maybe we won't go to Epcot. We'll focus on Magic Kingdom, or we'll have a trip where we just go to Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. We kind of spread it around. And when I say random, I mean, we'll be in Animal Kingdom, for instance, and we'll be walking past somewhere that, we haven't spent time before. I'll snap a couple pictures. There's some angle on a quick story, and then voila, it'll turn into a blog post, either almost right there on the spot or within days or weeks after coming back from Orlando.
I like that. We're getting that kind of vibe for my wife's and I trip. We're going to talk about my trip report coming up soon. And I'm getting that feel. We booked 3 restaurants. We didn't even pick any fast passes yet. So I think it's going to be kind of casual. It's a little bit of a work trip to some degree because I'm bringing my son down there. But I think I'm starting to feel that way too. I would love to be so close as you guys to be able to go. How about Brian? Would you love that or what?
To be so close? Geez. Yeah, it's...
Very tempting.
I always thought about it, but it's man, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle the heat and the humidity in August and July, but I'd love to be a lot closer. I mean, it'd be great to, like Bob said, quick weekend trips. That would be ideal. That'd be great.
I know. We're going to record, Brian, a roundtable with our group of travel agents. We're going to talk about when to go to Disney World. Will be one of the topics coming up. Mm-hmm. But if you're like in Bob's shoes, you can go anytime.
Whenever you want, yeah.
And really the weather, I mean, one of the things we learned about moving we were originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but one of the things we noticed or learned when we got to Atlanta was you quickly get acclimated to the change in, regional climate. And first year we were down here, the first summer, I moved down in, I think, July, which you can imagine the heat then. Very first week I was here, I would go to work. It would be 7 o'clock in the morning, maybe even a little earlier, and it was already 95 degrees. Mm. And it's not, fortunately, been that warm in the summers since, but you get used to it. And then you find when it gets to the winter, we'll be sitting in Walt Disney World and it'll be 65 degrees, and you guys would probably be sitting there in a t-shirt and shorts, and my wife and I have a jacket on because we're just so used to the weather now.
Yeah. I know. I always love that, seeing that with the cast members. All right, Brian, do you have any other questions for Bob?
I actually have one question. I'm looking at the blog and it's really cool. There's a ton of content here. I'm looking at a post from May 1st about the puzzles, the jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah.
So what did you do after you finished these 500-piece puzzles? Are they framed, or what do you do with them? Do you just put them back in the box? And
so that's my wife.
Right.
She's a very big fan of making jigsaw puzzles of all kinds and varieties. And we happened to be walking through Magic Kingdom one day, and she, very rarely do we see puzzles there. And I think we were back in the circus section, and she saw that, and she said, "Geez, I really like to get these puzzles." So there were 4 in one box, and she just decided, all right, well, she's going to get those, bring them home. She put them together, Brian, and then she breaks them apart and puts them back in the box, and then she'll probably pull them out in another year, and she'll make them again. And I'll tell her often when she just made a 1,000-piece puzzle a week or two back. I said, you really ought to frame that one. And she said, no, I'll just put it back in the box.
I mean, these are really beautiful. This Snow White one that I'm looking at it looks like you're looking at the Seven Dwarfs Cottage right there in the theme park. I mean, it's the detail. I mean, these are great. Really
Yeah,
cool.
they were fantastic. That's why I went ahead and, it's a, quick, simple post. And that's what I meant, Kurt, when I said random, right? So she puts these puzzles together and I'm looking at them and I'm saying, that'll make a post. So I wasn't even in Orlando and I was able to come up with something that was a little bit different.
Yeah, you have a lot of pictures in your posts, which I'm sure people love.
Mm-hmm. Well, when I go and I look at people's websites, I honestly, there from time to time I'll write something that's a little bit longer, especially if it's I have something really on my mind, like, I don't know, frustration over Maelstrom being invaded by Frozen or something like that. Yeah. But I like looking at pictures too. So oftentimes I'll the splash on my main page right now was taken this year at the Flower and Garden Festival, and I just loved getting all the colors, the color of the monorail orange, spaceship Earth in the background, the color of the flowers, the palm tree. I mean, I sometimes I'm not a professional photographer, but I like trying to find something that's a little bit unique. And then, even if it's a quick post with a sentence or two, and then a picture that I think is, reasonably attractive, sometimes that'll be the all that I'll post for a particular day.
And Disney World has sure got plenty of places to take great pictures. This is a great picture here. Beautiful
thank
sky.
You.
Beautiful sky.
Thank you.
You got the palm tree and the flowers, the monorail. Awesome. Love Epcot. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about your favorites list and the polling that you do. Can you give me a little intro of how you go about this?
Okay, well, I actually started that a couple years ago. One of the things that I really love, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but when it comes to March, I'm a big fan of the college basketball tournament, March Madness. Yeah. And it occurred to me that I hadn't, several years back. Now, this year there was quite a bit that I saw from a polling competition standpoint. But it occurred to me there was nothing that really took aspects of Walt Disney World and pit the different attractions or resorts or table service restaurants, etc., against each other to come up with the reader's favorite. And so what I did was I came up with a simple format. It's usually runs a poll maybe 3 or 4 days, depending on how many items are in the poll, and I'll pair things into groups of 4 and give the readers the opportunity to vote for one of those 4 in that group. So, for instance, if it were an attraction poll, for instance, for Magic Kingdom, I might have in a first round poll something like Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, Buzz Lightyear, and the carousel in Fantasyland, and a reader would pick one of those. The 2 top vote getters from that particular group, and there would be 4 groups generally in that first round. Yep, the top 2 vote getters in those 4 groups would move on to the next round, which would leave 8 attractions, and then I would set up 2 groups of 4 again. And then the top 2 would move, and each group would move into the final 4. And then finally, the winning vote getter would be named the All in WDW reader's favorite attraction, dining establishment, etc. So I started that a couple of years ago, just to be able to give people. When I go to a website, even if it's just like a quick trivia question or something like a poll or a dining review, which I'll do quite a few of, I just want to have some quick link back to Walt Disney World, while I'm back in Atlanta. It's just it's sort of like, for me at least, breathes a little excitement or enthusiasm back into the day. And the thought with the polls was that the reader could come. They don't have to spend a lot of time there, but they can, read a brief paragraph, go through and make their, 1 or 2 or 4 votes, and then if they want later in the day, come back and see how their favorite attraction was doing, for instance.
I love that. Single elimination, right? It's like the tournament.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is. It's so if you have a group of four, and I can't remember exactly who I put in that group, but let's say Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion were the top two vote getters. They move on to the next round, and then the other attractions are eliminated from the tournament.
Well, I'm going to start off, Bob. I want to look, and the fun thing about lists is that anybody can argue about them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We're going to take a look at some of these and see what Brian thinks about these and yourself. And I'm certainly going to comment on them. I'm looking right now at one you did on December 20th, 2013. It's Deluxe Resorts, one of my favorite topics. And I'm going to you got top 10 here. I'm going to list them from number 10 down. Number 10 being, I like how they all say they start with Disney's, like we wouldn't know. Disney's Animal Kingdom Villas Jambo House is number 10. Interesting. Let me list them off, and then we could chat them through. Number 9 is the Grand Floridian. Number 8 is the Boardwalk Inn. Number 7, the Wilderness Lodge.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure why it's number 7. We'll have to figure that one out. Contemporary Resort is number 6. Another Animal Kingdom Villas. This is the villas at Kidani Village. That's the DVC villas. Then number 4, the Boardwalk Villas. Number 3, Beach Club Resort. Number 2 is the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And then number 1, what do you think number 1 is? I kind of Brian?
If there's, going by the way the list is going so far, if there's a possibility of another Animal Kingdom, the lodge has got to be on there.
No, it's the Polynesian Resort is number 1, which I totally agree with. Although I got some close second and third. But wow, what do you guys think of that list?
I think contemporary and Wilderness Lodge and Boardwalk surprised me being so low, and with Animal Kingdom Lodge being so high up at the top, just because. And the only reason I say that is, for me, Animal Kingdom Lodge is too far away from everything. I mean, I get it. The ambiance is great. It's a beautiful resort, but I just feel like it's so far away from everything else.
Yeah,
it's not like the Contemporary where you can walk to the Magic Kingdom, or the Boardwalk where you can, walk to Epcot, or I don't know.
I would agree with. I'm with you there. I mean, it's such a beautiful. I wouldn't put it number 2. It'd be up there pretty high, but not number 2. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, what I was going to point out, 2 things actually. I want to respond first to the Animal Kingdom being kind of off the beaten path. It is, and and I'm not going to debate that. But one of the things that we've learned as we've visited Walt Disney World a lot more frequently in the last few years is it's not that long of a drive to get from point A to point B in Walt Disney World. Yeah. And being at one of the monorail resorts is fantastic, because you're right. You can walk to Magic Kingdom. You could take the monorail to loop around to the different resorts and restaurants and lounges and stuff. But we actually have Animal Kingdom Lodge a little bit higher on our list than most. Would put it off to the edge of property. And one of the things that really always surprises me, Polynesian Resort consistently does well in polls. In fact, if you notice, Polynesian's number 1 in this, but you have Animal Kingdom Lodge, Animal Kingdom Villas Kidani, and Animal Kingdom Villas Jambo. You have Boardwalk Villas and Boardwalk Inn. And I believe when I wrote the finale to the last Deluxe Resorts poll, I made the comment that I would have loved to have seen what the result would be if I had lumped Animal Kingdom Lodge and both villas together as one resort or one option, right, and then Boardwalk Inn and villas together as one option. So about a year, I can't remember the date we did this one in 2013, but I can tell you that late last year in November, I did that poll where I put Polynesian up against Animal Kingdom Lodge and Villas and Boardwalk Inn and Villas, and Polynesian still won.
Yeah.
And it was pretty handy victory too. They had a little over 41% of the vote, and Animal Kingdom Lodge and Villas was just under 33% of the vote.
So what do you guys think is the reason Polynesian comes up first all the time? I've seen this before too in other polls.
Personally, I think it's the location. I mean, and it's been there for so long. I think a lot of people have been going there for a long time. I think it was the first resort on Disney property, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I mean, I don't know. I've never stayed there before, but I would think, I mean, being able to watch the Wishes from the beach, the dining options there. I mean, you can get Dole Whip there. I mean, come on, that right there. That's.
I agree. I think it's the location. I also think that of the 3 resorts on the monorail, that it has the most appealing theming and ambiance. Now, that's not to say anything bad about Contemporary or Grand Floridian. I mean, one of our favorite restaurants is California Grill. We go to Contemporary quite often, even if we're just going to sit, and chill for a bit and get out of the heat. But given the choice between those 3 resorts, my family would stay at Polynesian and has. And I think that's kind of a bit of a shared feeling amongst those who are Disney World enthusiasts. The one thing that we're really excited about is that it's undergoing the refurbishment now. The only critique that we ever had was it just felt a little bit old to us. And with all the work that's being done, I think it's just going to step it up to the next level from a standpoint of being Disney fans' favorite.
You guys are exciting me because I'm staying there 3 nights in June at the DVC. So I'm getting excited about. Yeah, I agree with all of that. And my wife actually said it was her favorite. It is the ambiance. My favorite restaurant, Ohana, is there. And all of the above. It's at night with the tiki torches going. The lava pool. I can't wait to check out the new pool. And it's got an infinity, I guess, looking out over the lake and all of that. The electric light parade right there on the beach. You can't, it's just awesome. And if it were me, my top 3 would be, I would put, I think the Beach Club would be my number 3, which you have here. And the Contemporary would actually be my number 2 because I love my Bay Lake Tower. I can't put no bad love on that one. Those would be my 3. I'm kind of interesting that the Grand Floridian is number 9, and my best guess might be because of the cost. I don't know. It's such a grand place. I don't know why you'd put that number 9.
Well, one of the things that some of the fans and readers tell me when I run these polls is I'll get comments a lot of time. Well, I can't vote for Grand Floridian because I've never stayed there. Yeah. And my response to that is that these polls aren't necessarily directed to, you've stayed at Grand Floridians and you loved it, so you have to vote for Grand Floridian, or you've never stayed at Grand Floridian, so you can't even consider voting for it. What I tell people is, look, if it's a resort that you have stayed at or that you would love to stay at, then it can still earn your vote in a particular category. If you want to stay at Grand Floridian, it's your dream to do that one day, then vote for it. It should be, I mean, you got to vote. This is for fun. It's not like some competition that anybody's going to win a prize for. I tend to agree with what you said, Kurt. I think it's probably just price related.
Yeah. They haven't stayed there maybe. All right. What should we go look at next?
Well, I actually was going to offer sort of a tie-in because it is very interesting, and I think that it really is a coattails type thing. What would you guys say is the all-in WDW readers' favorite table service restaurant?
Oh, you want to go over there? I was looking at that one. I'm glad you said that. I didn't know if you're going to go to like the moderate resorts or you're going to go to restaurants, but I can jump right into food.
Yeah, right up Curtis's alley. that was a softball waiting right there for you, Curtis.
It's
food.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Bob, I'm kind of cheating because I was already looking at that. And I am right on. I'm actually amazed Ohana is number 1.
Hey, where are you guys at? Buffet style, family style table service?
No, this is just favorite resorts.
It's won them all. It's won them all, to be honest with you. It's won buffet family style. It's won the resorts table service. It's won the WDW table service. I don't know if it's a coattails type thing because of the Polynesian resort, or if it's just the restaurant standing on its own. If it would be in the middle of downtown Disney, I don't know if it would win nearly as handily, but it's won pretty much every table service poll that I've ever run it in.
So, Brian, we're looking at the favorite.
Are you top 15?
Yeah, this is favorite resorts table service.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is recently, Bob, the 23rd of 2014. But yeah, let's just rip through. You got 15 here, starting with 1900 Park Fair is number 15. The Wave of American Flavors, that one's over at the Contemporary. Artist Point, which is at the Wilderness Lodge, I know. Flying Fish Cafe, number 12. Cape May Cafe at 11. Geekin, the Cooking Place, number 10. Number 9 is Yachtsman Steakhouse. Number 8 is Sanaa over at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Number 7 is Beaches and Cream. Interesting kind of mix here of different kinds. Number 6, Whispering Canyon Cafe. Of course, that's at the Wilderness Lodge. Kona Cafe over at the Polynesian. So you got 2 in the top 5 from the Polynesian. And Chef Mickey's number 4. Boma, Flavors of Africa from the Animal Kingdom. Hey, maybe it's food too that's over there that's popular for the Animal Kingdom Lodge. And California Grill number 2, and of course Ohana number 1. Well, you were talking about Ohana. I mean, to me, the reason being it's a great family atmosphere. Again, it's got the atmosphere. It's got the open fire pit for us barbecuers that love that flamed meat. And shrimp, man, those big shrimp, and the service, the fun the kids have with coconut races. I love every entree that they bring out, the salad, the bread. There's just, even the dessert is awesome, the vegetables. I have nothing but love for Ohana.
Bob, can you hear Curtis drooling right now?
Yeah. Actually, I had to go get a towel while you were talking.
It is awesome. What do you guys think of that list? Any complaints or arguments there?
Well, I mean, for me, Boma is one of our family favorites. I know, again, with the Animal Kingdom being a little off the beaten path, maybe people haven't tried there near as much. And, and not to go back to the Deluxe Resort conversation, but when you really think about Geekin, Boma, Sanaa, all being in that complex, I mean, I'm hard pressed to pick, a single resort that has 3 restaurants that are just that good. And when we compare the offerings at Boma, which obviously are if for people who haven't been there, are also pretty heavily meat related, like Ohana, we actually prefer Boma to Ohana. We've sometimes had hit and miss experiences at Ohana, and we've always had phenomenal experiences at Boma.
Whoa, boy, those fighting words, Brian. No, actually,
that's why I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, you better stay out of between us or break us up. No, I think honestly, I like your top. You know what? Your top 5 aren't bad. I mean, I find a hard time arguing. I love Boma. We're actually going to Boma Monday night of our trip in June. We've been there many times, and yeah, it's a big favorite of ours too. Can't argue that. I'll tell you one that disappoints me is Flying Fish at number 12. I'm like, what? Maybe people just, again, we were talking about maybe things that you've never tried before. So if you've never tried Flying Fish and you don't mind opening up the wallet a little deeper over there on the boardwalk, highly recommend that one.
That was one that honestly we had passed by time and time and time again. Another one, and it didn't make the top 15, is Captain's Grill over in the Yacht Club. I mean, it's like a hidden treasure from our standpoint. Mm-hmm. But Flying Fish, we finally tried it, I want to say a year or two back for the very first time. And we got an ADR at the very last minute. It was kind of at the early portion of dinner time. My wife and I walked in. It was just the two of us. And I had a friend tell me that if you go to Flying Fish, to try to get a seat at the chef's counter. So we asked the maitre d', the host, would it be possible to sit at the chef's counter? And we had the most phenomenal evening. The food was great, nice bottle of wine. We had one of the sous chefs right in front of us chatting us up while we were, having our appetizers and drinking some wine. It was just outstanding.
Yeah, and I've heard that story a couple of times. And actually, same thing with us. We were late. A friend at work told me about this place, and I had been many, many, many times, and he told me about it. Same thing. I walked by that place a million times, I swear. And now it's Lindsay's most favorite. We took her there for her birthday, and I hear that same. What you just described is pretty much what I hear from others. It's a very intimate and very great chef. Great. The servers have been just outstanding. Highly recommend that one. Brian, anything you want to comment on this list, and then we'll maybe move on.
I'm surprised that Le Cellier is not on the list.
That's a good one. Yeah, people love that place. I think I've been there a couple of times, but I know people love Le Cellier.
The reason it isn't is because we're looking at the resorts table list, so it would have been in the parks the parks tournament. If I take a look at where the WDW table service poll, then where we would find Le Cellier was at number 3 for all of Walt Disney World.
Well, I'll just have my co-host's responsibilities revoked, Curtis. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't point that out.
I'm glad you pointed it out, because I think I missed that, and I can't quit because I'm the.
Well, it makes sense to me then.
I'm the one who posted the podcast, so I can't quit.
Any guesses who won the WDW poll? Yes, Ohana.
Oh yeah. I know that it comes up. Where can I find? Let's look at the top WDW attractions. I'm going to go there. This is the top 10 WDW attractions. I'm going to go through this list. And starting with number 10, Rock and Roller Coaster, starring Aerosmith. Number 9, Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Number 8, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And then number 7 is Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain. I didn't know it was called that. What about the Yeti? Toy Story Midway Mania, number 6. Number 5 is The Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror. Number 4, Soarin'. Number 3 is Haunted Mansion. Boy, people love the Haunted Mansion. Number 2, Wishes Nighttime Spectacular. And number 1, Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. Attractions. What's an attraction as opposed to a ride?
I get that question a lot too, right? So I've run the polls. Basically, what I'll do is I'll go to Walt Disney World's own website, and then I'll pull down the attractions. And in this particular poll, this was the 2013 one, I believe. What we did was include. That was the first year I included not just the actual rides per se, but the other things that you can do, attractions that Disney, that are like marquee events for them, the Flower and Garden Festival, the Food and Wine Festival, things of that sort, and included that with the everyday rides like Haunted Mansion. And when this poll was run back then, I was actually surprised at the result. I mean, if you think about it, and what I wrote when this one finished, when you go to Walt Disney World, regardless of how often you get a chance to get there, you might or might not go on Soarin', depending on maybe the line length, etc., and what your schedule is for that day. But people plan trips around going to Food and Wine. I guess I was surprised initially when the result came out, but then once I thought about it, realized that, maybe it's not that big of a surprise after all.
I love the Food and Wine Festival, but I'll tell you a thought I've had, and I've probably mentioned this on the podcast recently, but flower and garden to me actually might even be more fun. What do you think about that? Is that controversial?
I don't know that I'd say that it's controversial. I mean, it's different. You get a little bit of the best of two worlds. I mean, certainly the colors and the flower displays, the topiaries, et cetera, are just beautiful. I mean, the picture on my own homepage is a picture I took during Flower and Garden just this year, and the reason that it is the picture I chose for the homepage is just because of all the different colors. I think it's sort of like helps the website's appearance stand out. But you also get the food too. Yeah. And if you're a big fan of Disney dining and the food and wine festivals in particular, or any food and wine festival, Flower and Garden gives you a little taste of that. And like I just said, I mean, my wife and I plan trips to the Food and Wine Festival. We plan trips to the Flower and Garden, or as I like to call it, the Food and Garden Festival as well.
That's the best thing to do. Do both of them because they're both great. And the argument I'll make is the Food and Wine Festival is very crowded, especially on the weekends. I think not as bad as Flower and Garden. I love the Smokehouse over at American. I don't know why they don't have that Food and Wine. They have the Smokehouse during Flower and Garden. I love the musical acts, and actually both festivals have great musical acts. But yeah, anyway, I think the Food and Wine gets a lot more press, but the Flower and Garden to me is just as good. And I'll tell you the other thing that sticks out to me here is, unless I'm missing something, where's Splash Mountain?
That was what I was wondering, Curtis.
I love Splash Mountain. It didn't even make the top 10. Was it not?
Not that year. Again, like I described the tournament polls earlier, that if it happened to be in a group where it didn't finish in the top two, it just didn't make it to the next round.
Maybe it was up against the Food and Wine Festival or something.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, or Haunted Mansion. I remember the very first year I ran these polls. It was one of the most interesting things that happened was in the Magic Kingdom poll. And I don't remember which beat which, but in the Magic Kingdom poll, Haunted Mansion, I believe, beat Splash Mountain or vice versa. And then when it got to the WDW poll, the finale was nearly the same, except for Splash Mountain beat Haunted Mansion. It was like watching a prize fight and seeing having a rematch that was won by the next. Let's see, WDW attraction was won by Haunted Mansion, and Disney's Magic Kingdom attraction was won by Splash Mountain. It was the most curious thing I've ever seen. But part of the fun of doing these, I mean, you don't know what the result's going to be. Well, unless I guess you've got Polynesian or Ohana in a poll. but every year something's been different. I mean, favorite WDW attraction. The first year I did it was Haunted Mansion. Favorite WDW attraction the second year was at Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. And we just recently completed the third go-around, and Soarin' won the favorite WDW attraction. So, I mean, the whole reason you do it is because it's just fun to have, fun, I think, just to cast your vote and see how things turn out.
So if your attraction has a bad day or a bad draw, you might not win at the whole thing, just like the basketball tournament.
Exactly. And people will ask me about that too. Well, you put these, they jokingly will give me a critique and say, oh, that's no fair putting Haunted Mansion up against Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah. And then I'll respond back and I said, hey, I seeded it as fairly as possible. Now that I've done this a couple of years, when I go on to do the Deluxe Resorts poll, for instance, I'll take the results from the previous year, and if I have a top 10 or a top 15, then they'll be seeded in the order that they finished the previous year. So number 10 would go against number 1, number 9 will go against number 2, etc. And sometimes it makes for some what people will say are very, very tough choices. but that's part of the fun of this. The choices are always tough, and as you go further into a poll, the choices get tougher.
Well, this was a lot of fun. I don't know. This is just awesome. You know, people are passionate about their favorites at Disney World. Yeah, you get into some deep arguments. You start messing with those passions. And so, this was great. I want to cover, because I'm going to Disney World, I got to do a pre-trip report, Bob and Brian. Let me tell you what I'm doing, and you can tell me you guys got something coming up. But I'm taking my son Benjamin down to Florida for a baseball camp that he's doing all summer. So we're going to fly down to Fort Lauderdale on a Sunday night, and then we're going to drive up to Disney World on Monday morning, see Lindsay, spend some time with her, and my wife and I will spend some time at Disney World. We're going to do 3 nights at the Polynesian DVC, and we waitlisted one more night, but at this point we're doing 1 night at Bay Lake Tower, which is what we're going to end up doing. So it's only going to be Sunday through Friday. It's a shorter trip than I'm usually doing. It's kind of like you do, Bob. You do weekends, but this is, I don't know. It's going to go so fast, I know. But I want to tell you, here's the restaurants I'm going to do. Speaking of restaurants, we're going to do 3 of them. We got Boma. So I told you I liked Boma. We're doing Boma. I always like to try something new. I'm going to try the Garden Grove over at the Swan, which is a buffet, actually. And I've never done any of the restaurants in the Swan or Dolphin, not too much. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And then the big one, the one that my friend Judy has been telling me to do for so long, the Hoop-de-Doo.
Hoop-de-doo.
Oh, very nice.
Finally.
All right, but that's one of the things that my wife and I, and my son for that matter, have never done. And, y'all get criticized a lot by people that I know. You're going to Walt Disney World again? Yeah. There's always something new that you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, as many times as we've been there, we've still never done that.
Boy, we have a lot in common, Bob. I'll tell you, we sound like I started going in 1999, and you're talking my language here. I know I've never done this, and they always teased me about going. And my wife, she's not all that excited about going. I think she's just going to love it. She knows I'm going to embarrass her because I'm going to get right in there with the actors, and I'm going to ham it up. So she's going to be crawling underneath the table because I'm going to have fun.
Where are you guys sitting, Curtis?
It is up in the balcony.
Okay.
As far as I know. But yes, I love that kind of food because I've eaten over there where the Trails End restaurant is. So it's the same kind of food with the ribs and all that. I am totally looking forward to that. And Bob, you just mentioned there's always you kind of lined up this next thing, what I'm going to talk about, which is the must-dos for my trip. I'm making a list. My friends are helping me. And anyone who's listening to the show, send me an email, kurt.stone@geekin on WDW.com. If you can think of something you want me to do while I'm down there, if you can come up with something I've never done before, and it's not, even though we've been so many times, and Bob has just said this too, if I tell you what I'm going to do, you'll see kind of what I mean. So I'm getting these from my friends, like I said. So Erica Murphy said, do the German challenge over at Epcot. And I don't know what it is, but I think it involves drinking. That's why the intro, you're going to see a theme here, I think. I didn't even notice until our buddy Kevin pointed it out. But this just happened this way, guys, I swear. The Scotch flight I want to try because I was going to do it, and my wife and I never got over there. I think Lindsay interrupted us, came over, and then we went off with her. But Lisa Green told me about that one. I want to do the Scotch flight. I love all those flight drinks, the beers and all those. They do that a lot. It's kind of fun. Get a little sample of everything. Now, I don't think they have this. I was looking before we got on. The after hours we did in Epcot last time in Italy. I'd like to try another country, but I don't see that they've actually listed that yet. So that's not going to happen. But Trader Sam's Grotto, definitely going to do that because I'll be staying at the DVC. That is a must do. The lava pool at the Polynesian. I'm looking forward to hanging out at the pool over there. I want to make sure, I got to write this down because I'm such a commando guy, and so is Margita, my wife. I don't know if I don't slow down and take some pool time if I'll even get a chance to enjoy that. So I got to make sure. Another one from a listener, David Castro, told me you got to do the pork nacho. Easy for me to say. Pork nachos at Captain Cook's at the Polynesian.
Ooh,
yeah,
those are good.
You're a foodie, Bob.
You bet.
Yes, I heard. I love pork. I love nachos, but I don't think I've ever put them together before. So I'm looking forward to do that. There's a new music act over at the American Experience called the American Music Machine. And you guys know I love my music, and I'm a little disappointed I'm going to miss out on some of the summer concert series. I think it starts like the weekend after I leave, but I will check them out over there.
You're not going to make a point to go over and see the Lumberjacks?
It's his favorite show. What are you talking about?
I'll make a point to run right through there. Like it's not even there. I'll run right to the beer stand. How's that?
You got to go back to that episode that you did the live recording, and you were talking to Mama about the Lumberjacks. You could really tell there was some no love for the Lumberjacks in your voice.
I'm very positive about Disney World. And if you look at one of Bob's polls, and I was looking through there, what I saw, one of the favorite music acts of all time was Off Kilter. So, right. And I'm not so mad about Off Kilter going away. I can understand change in a new act or something, but Lumberjacks. Matter of fact, there was guys cutting trees across my yard right about for the last 3 days. I was watching the Lumberjacks for 3 days. I don't need that when I'm on vacation. Yeah.
Off Kilter is one of the only attraction that's ever won a poll that I've run that's been retired.
Oh, sad. Don't even tell me. I know I miss them. I'm really starting to miss them. Now, another thing, Mama's not crazy about downtown Disney. I actually want to go down there and really check out what's going on down there, just to walk around, see all the new stuff, see the construction, see what's going on. The boathouse I would like to check out with that new land boat thing. You guys see that where the boat goes in the water, or the car drives into the water? And it's a little expensive, but I would like to try that. That one might not happen, but I'm putting it on my list. Erica Murphy told me a couple things. The Star Wars weekends actually start up while I'm down there, and I've seen that before. If I'm going to do the Hollywood Studios, I'll pick. This is on the weekend, so I may not even get a chance because we're leaving on Friday. Actually, now that I think about it, might not happen. There's it's something simple like a Starbucks over at Hollywood Studios is new, and those new mugs. You guys like those new mugs in Starbucks? I always like buying a new mug. That might be something I gotta get.
Yeah, one of the things that we were disappointed in, we were actually 1 day away from going to Epcot to get one of those Epcot mugs, the purple ones that they ended up taking off the market.
Yeah.
So I was 1 day away from being able to get one of those before they pulled them.
Yeah, those look really nice. I don't know what kind of mug. I'm sure I'll end up with one this time. I'm just going to... I was looking through what's going on in June at Disney World. Like I was just saying, the Sounds Like Summer concert series starts June 7th, and I think I leave June 5th. So I'm really disappointed. I'm going to miss that. If you're going down, enjoy that. Erica mentioned to me another thing that's going to be down there in June, starting in June, this Frozen Summer Fun. That's that you Frozen fans can see all your favorite characters all summer long down at the Hollywood Studios. And they had some pretty good fireworks and dance parties and things going on last year. We did catch that last year.
But they have to do something because there's nothing else to do in the studios.
Yeah, I know. They got to ramp something up over there for sure, which I'm sure is coming down the road. We will find out soon enough. There's a Cars Masters weekend. And Cars, I thought this was going to be like a car show, but no, it's Disney, so it's all about the Cars, the movie gang. There's some weekends. And it says select weekends in June, so I don't know. Again, I might not be able to see that because that's on a weekend. And there's a bunch of the site I'm looking at right now is called Mouse for Less. I've been sending a lot of tweets from this site because they got a ton of content too. I've been enjoying the stuff they've been putting out there. There's a World Oceans Day, June 3rd. I will actually be there. I don't know if I'll get over to Epcot. This is going to be something over at the Living Seas or something going on there for World Ocean Days. And was that it? Well, anyways, lots of things always to do. So that's kind of the things and lists that I have of some of my must-dos. You guys, can you think of anything else? You guys let me know.
One of the things you noted, and I think you said that you weren't sure you're going to be able to do it. We've spent a bit more time than we have in the past at Downtown Disney, or almost Disney Springs.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot of construction, but there's some really nice stuff down there that we didn't give enough credit to in the past. For instance, just to get in out of the heat and do something a bit unusual for being at Disney, Splitsville. I mean, we really like Splitsville. We were really shocked first time we went there. I ended up going there with my son, actually, I think last summer. For the first time, we sat at the bar, he and I, and we shared some sushi. And you wouldn't think sushi in a bowling alley was going to be phenomenal, but it is Disney, and it was. And in some ways, I even liked it better than what I had at California Grill. So one of the things that I would recommend if you had time is, maybe cruise through downtown Disney. In spite of the construction, you might find something new there to do.
Yeah, it's funny. So before we got on the podcast, I was talking to Mama, who was telling me she's not crazy about downtown Disney. I'm going to have to really work on her. But she said, I'm going down there. I'm actually going again in August when I pick up Lindsay from the college program, and we're going to drive home. And Lindsay and I are going to have some time, just her and I. And I have heard this, Bob, about Splitsville. I think, Brian, we were on a round table, and this was brought up. We were talking about restaurants to go to, especially if you didn't have a ADR. And that was a great tip. And Lindsay said the food is really good over there. And I would think, bowling alley. I mean, everyone's got a bowling alley in their town, right? I wouldn't think much of it. And I'm hearing great things about Splitsville. So thank you, Bob. That's a good one. I wrote it down on my list. Okay, guys, I think we have had a great show. We've gone through a good hour. Now,
that's it?
Yeah.
Time flies so fast.
It is. Can you believe it?
Yes. When you get a bunch of Disney nerds together talking Disney, you can talk forever. It goes quick.
You're talking about Disney, you're having fun, time flies, right?
It's Disney time, just like when you're down there. The week goes by so fast. Now, Bob, I want you to tell me, you mentioned, I always want my guests to promote anything. Do you have anything to promote? Of course, we've talked about your website the whole time, which is allin.wdw.com. But do you have any polls coming up?
Yeah, actually, if the listeners would like to help us out, I'm going to launch one today. It's going to be, we started off the conversation talking about Deluxe Resorts. It's been a while since I've run that poll. It's usually a very popular one. And I noticed, as we went through the list that when you think about it, there's so many new options that have opened relatively recently, like the Grand Floridians villas, now the Polynesians villas. That it's time to run the Deluxe poll again. So if they go to allin.wdw.com, first round will be out there. As I mentioned earlier, make your vote in each of the categories. The top two will move on to the next round, and within a couple of days of voting, we'll know who is now the new or the 2015 All-In WDW Reader's Favorite Deluxe Resort.
You need a new champ. Awesome.
The new champ.
That's awesome, Bob.
Ohana can't win that one. So
I think it will. That's my bet.
Good. Right.
Can I vote more than once? You can only give. All right, guys.
One vote per customer.
He's got the technology figured out. Awesome. Bob, you've been an awesome guest. Thank you so much for being on. Brian, thanks for co-hosting again with me.
Thanks for having me, man.
We'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me on. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a great show. You do a great job, and I'm honored to be one of the guests that you've asked.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we do have a private Facebook group, Bob, that we only invite past guests of the podcast. So right after I get off with you tonight, I'm going to go into Facebook and add you to that guest list, and you're welcome to come back on the show anytime. We just touched the surface of your website and all these polls, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. There's always some news item or some poll or some dining review or something else that you can talk about in Walt Disney World. And like I say on my website, All in WDW is all about the world and much, much more. I'm happy to talk about anything. Doesn't even have to be Disney related.
I love it. Well, then you're going to love our Facebook page because we've been having a lot of fun doing that. It's getting to know each other and having fun. All right, yeah, and you guys can be a guest on the show. Just send me an email, kurt.stone@geekinonwdw.com. I have been doing a great job of getting to the people I promised to get on the show finally. And it's taken us a little while, but we're getting caught up. Except I'm going to be going to Disney World soon, so I'm going to have a couple in there that can carry my show. Oh, Brian, I know you love my live trip reporting. I am going to do some more of that when I'm down there for sure. Hopefully.
After the Scotch flight?
Could be interesting. Could be interesting. You never know. I'll get a little more courage to interview people on the street. That was a lot of fun. And I'll spend some time over at the Polynesian, getting you that vibe, trying to describe that vibe and make you guys really jealous. And hopefully you'll get a chance to go there someday. Yes, we love chatting on the Twitter and Facebook. Everything has got the Geekin on WDW.com logo, whatever. And support the show. The iTunes reviews. I was so excited to get 2 more. I was stuck on number 13, at least for the U.S. My friend Kevin there said the UK has got 1 review out there, but I have stuck on number 13, and so I bypassed that, and that's awesome. Well, we love those 5-star iTunes review. It gets us up there high. iTunes is really important for people to find the show, and we love it when you guys do that, and I love reading them. It really encourages me and Lindsay, and we really appreciate you guys going with us. Thanks for going Geekin on WDW with us. We had fun. I hope you did too, and take care.
Aloha.
Yeah, so I'll introduce Brian first, and then Bob. Bob, how do you say your last name? Make sure I get that.
It's Sikon, like a Nikon camera.
All right, I was right.
Okay.
And I'm not usually right. I'm not usually right. Actually, I've not done bad here on the podcast, but I've done bad in life.
Well, it's funny because a lot of people don't ask, and really it took me years to figure out that if I just told them it was like a Nikon camera, then it would stick with people.
That's a great way. Exactly. Yeah. That's right. People say I say my name is Stone, and they say, "How do you spell that?" STONE.
Nice.
I know they didn't hear me right, but whatever. As we get rolling before we get into that. That's awesome. All right. Perfect. I'm so glad we're here together. All right.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're going to find me and Brian are real geeks. So
yeah. Well, that's all right. That'll make 3 of us.
Exactly. All right, guys. You ready? I'll do my intro, and then we'll get rolling. Go. You ready?
I'm rock and roll.
All right. Is it an intervention in my... Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to edit that a little bit. But that's okay. You guys still with me?
We're here, dude.
All right. It went so quiet. All right. Well, that was like a drum.
Yeah, that's my kids upstairs.